You're listening to the Captain Jack Sports Show on Northeast Streaming Sports.
All right, everybody, how you doing? Captain Jack here. It is my pleasure to do the premiere. A premiere. I think like there should be like these big lights, you know, like in like Hollywood and Vine on Broadway with the big skylights, you know, with the premiere going and the crowd going, yeah. It's the Captain and Wenches Show, and right now we're scheduling this for every other Tuesday night. And my wenches are going to be here. My wenches, don't mess with my wenches, because I tell you, these ladies know what the hell they're talking about. Okay? And I'm going to try to make sure that the hell is the worst that I say tonight, because as you guys and gals know, I have to dub curse words later on. And I work in the morning. And it's a pain in the tuchus. Tuchus is okay. I can say that too. Okay? So when you swear, I got to mark it and I got to see what it is and I got to go into my Adobe and I got to exit out. It's a royal pain in the tuchus. You don't know what a tuchus is, go find a Jewish guy and ask him to speak Yiddish to you. Okay? So having said that, welcome to the show tonight. I want to show this right away. Jason Dean Hunter, who is a member of Captain Jack Scalawag, and you too can be a member of Captain Jack Scalawag. Go to an Android phone or a Windows computer. I keep forgetting people. I always use computers, so I keep forgetting people use computers. Go to a Windows computer. If you got an Apple product, you're screwed. And I'm very sorry to say that. You're screwed because Apple does weird things. They don't show what they need to show. Okay? So without further ado, and I've been running my mouth too much as it is. Okay? I've been running my mouth too much as it is. I'm going to bring in DC Wench. Peggy Holmes is here. How are you doing there, Peggy? And welcome to our show. And we're going to be joined by your sisters as well. But I got you. I got you, babe. I got you. And I'm a little bigger than Sunny, but and you're definitely a lot prettier than Cher, that's for sure. I got DC Wench Peggy Holmes here. Thank you for being here, Peggy. It's awesome.
Oh, thank you for having me on, Captain Jack. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Very good. I am excited to be here, especially with my sister wenches. Hopefully Angria and Heidi can join us today. But in any event, it's always a pleasure to be with the captain. Always.
Thank you. I tell you, it's always a party. It's a party anywhere with Peggy Holmes. See, that's party, Peggy, party. That's just the way it goes. It's good. And yeah, Jason Dean Hunter says we hear you loud and clear, so we're good to go there.
That's very good. Now, we had this show. We were talking about making this show about Raider women, but also about the Raiders. And I bet you guys didn't know that women see football in a totally different way than men see football. And I hope you get to share in what we're going to show you.
Right. And that's why I said I want my Raiderettes in here. I want lady football fans in here. That ladies conversing about football. Ladies conversing about sports with ladies who actually know sports. Because, again, I'm going to say a dirty word. I don't hang out with bimbos. Peggy Holmes is not a bimbo. She knows her sports, and that's why I love talking bimbos. No, because...
No, I love it.
Yeah, because, again, I'm not going to dwell on things in the past, but I want to have a show with somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. Peggy Holmes, DC Wench, she knows what she's talking about. She's forgotten more things than most of y'all know on purpose. Same thing with Kevlar Prom Dress, Heidi Stabbert, and same thing with Angria Trask. I can't say her name because she doesn't want her name out there. I'm just saying that.
Well, we love them both. And Captain, I want to say something while I'm on the air about the Raider men. Over the 40 years I've been with the Raiders, they're the only men in an NFL fan base that respect their women. And I really have to say that. I have always been treated like a lady. I've always been protected. And when I talk, you guys have listened. I didn't have to shake you and say, listen to me. You automatically gave us Raider ladies the respect. And I just want to say how much I love my Raider kings.
Thank you. And we if somebody's not treating you like a reina, a queen, please let us know. Please let us know.
Not among the Raider men. They've always listened to us, and we give them the same respect.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even turn on my I got to go and turn on my Instagram. My goodness! Now I'm live. I got so caught up with doing everything I normally do, I forgot to turn on my Instagram. Now I'm on Instagram. Yeah, well, I'm late, but you're here. Come on over to YouTube if you're watching me right now. I'm glad.
Well, when you said Instagram, you lost me. But today, where we were going to talk about the draft.
Yeah.
And you know me, I always try to take that 30,000 foot view before I get down to the nitty gritty. So, Captain, I just wanted to first talk about Mayock, if I could, and in a way that he reminds me of Bobby Beathard in what he's looking for and the kind of player he's looking for. First, he's looking for a player soundly grounded in fundamentals. He's not listening to all those guys out there, Kuiper and all those guys that are telling him, you should draft this guy, you should draft that guy. He's looking for a guy that fits the Raider culture that he's trying to build. And fundamentals, focus on fundamentals is what I see. What do you think?
Yeah, and again, I like the interview that he had when all the picks were in. You know, he went on the NFL network, and I got the interview, and because I had the capabilities to go back on the TV, and I paused it, and I went there, and I had it on, and it's on my phone, and I couldn't figure out a effing way to throw it onto one of the sources. I tried Google Drive and all this and the other thing, but I said what he said. He says he did not give a flying foxtrot what anybody said about the Leatherwood pick. He wanted to get faster. He wanted to get more capable. He said that we had a fantastic team last year, but we didn't have a good defense, and that's why we lost all those games last year.
And more importantly, Captain, I wanted to follow up right on what you said. It's not just a good defense. It's a good defensive coordinator with an idea of the kind of guys he needs to execute the defense that he has sketched up. Gunther had no clue what he was trying to do. Therefore, he could never tell Mayock what kind of players to draft. I think Gus has an idea.
Yeah, I would imagine that he does. And by the way, I got rid of YouTube because it was taking up bandwidth. So if folks that were saying it was buffering, if you have a comment on YouTube and it's one of those things where I have to go back later on and find out what it is, I apologize. But I want to make sure we have a good meeting here. And I'm getting rid of all my superfluous windows so I have it ready. Now, we are going to talk the draft. But like I said, I let Peggy lead. But Peggy, remember, we also got somebody that we are going to banty about. And that is your draft analysis with a very well-respected, probably one of the only dudes on the other than me, because I got to be here. But one of the dudes we're going to have on, and Oren is more than a dude. He's a very well-respected person of Raider history as well as a Raider correspondent. So before you got into it, I wanted to make sure, and I love the way you went into, we talked about Mayock first, and that's very important. But we are going to be joined, and I can't wait to have on a 3-screen with Oren Sheary, my boy right here. Oren, welcome. DC Wench, aka Peggy Holmes, is in the top.
Welcome, Oren.
Peggy, thank you. I love your support of all the coaches and the mindset of the Raiders, because it's so hyped up that we finally get, like you said, we get a great defensive coordinator. I mean, Gus Bradley is fantastic. I mean, you bring him to the stage, he's going to change. He probably changed Mayock's thinking a little bit. That's why we got so many safeties and mover, things like that. Now,
hybrids.
Nitty-gritty about that in just a moment. I'm psyched up. I mean, me and Cap spoke, I think, a week before the draft, if I'm correct, and I even said one of those prospects. I loved somebody, and we're not going to mention his name anymore. He passed on to another team, but I did mention Trevor Morang is my second favorite prospect in this draft. What do? We grab him, and I am so excited. This guy,
we move up to grab him.
The whole defense. The whole defense. This guy is an incredible player. I mean, we got the top-notch safety in the draft, and that's what That's what we got. The news is we got rid of Heath, and he probably had to go because now it's just so many. Our secondary is looking exciting, really exciting. And when you bring everything into fruition, I mean, we're really have two big hitters in a safety position. And then if you look at Divan Diablo, he's going to play probably, he is known as a blitzing kind of safety. So he's going to be thrown in on the outside linebacker that we have not seen in many years.
Ball
and
hawk.
that's going to be so exciting. So exciting.
Well, I want to dance off of what you just said. And I understand how excited everybody is about our yearly parade of safeties and corners that we draft year after year after year after year, not even going into the philosophy of how you build a defense. It makes no difference how many safeties and corners you bring in if you don't have a pass rush. And more importantly, DTs to push your middle. Doesn't matter how brilliant your DEs are. If you got nobody in there disrupting that line of scrimmage, pushing that pocket, creating those edges for your ends, it doesn't matter who's playing safety or corner. That's nice. That's all I have to say about that. That's nice. Yeah. I want to see that pass rush come out of 29th and 28th ranked in sacks and start getting the pressuring, and then we'll really see how good our guys are out there.
You know, actually, it's one of those things that with the Raiders, it sounded like an old a song from David Lee Roth when you're talking about the defensive push. I ain't got nobody push the pocket. You know, I can go on and on, but it's like we haven't had anybody like that since I think the last time we had somebody like that was when we had Perella and Ted Washington in the middle when we were winning the AFC and going far. I can't remember the last time we had a defensive. And Reagan Upshaw on the outside pushing as well. You know, it's amazing. We need this, and we're starting to get it again.
An absence of the outside linebacker, a pass rushing outside linebacker. The Raiders was probably the only team in the NFL that didn't have one. And going with what you were saying, we got those kind of guys. We just drafted those kind of hybrids, those guys that can do a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it up. I know some people say, Kuntz was maybe drafted a little early. You have no idea until you watch his film how good this man is.
He is.
He from Buffalo. We know who came from Buffalo.
Don't say it. That's a dirty word. It's a dirty word.
I said no.
It's 50 who, and that's it. 50 who.
Okay. Okay. I said
He gone.
He gone.
Yeah.
Yes, he is no longer with us. Let him rest in peace. But anyway, we do have a great core of players coming from the ends. It's going to be scary. I do like some of the stuff that they got in free agency too. They got a good Solomon Thomas, Quentin Jefferson. These guys are very experienced on the defensive line that can make the line better, what you were saying, Peggy. So I think with the veterans, with a solid veteran group now, and with these great young men, we can make a run at the playoffs. This defense is 100 times better the way I see it right now. So that we did some great things, some unexpected things. That's what scares the media. Don't ever listen to the media because they got scared.
Haters.
You took Alex Leatherwood 4 or 5 picks early because they want us to take Jock. Okay, get over it. It's not going to happen. We did what we wanted to do, and that was what we needed to do. We got the best offensive lineman that fits our scheme.
That is correct.
That let all the Raider fans know this. Darshaw is a left tackle. We could not get him.
That is right.
Jenkins, there was something wrong that did not fit the scheme that Tom Cable wanted.
Inconsistency. Mm-hmm.
So we got this best available lineman that fits our scheme. And we did the right choice. And I give that an A. I don't care what other people say. That's an A draft pick.
Since when have Raider fans cared about what the rest of the league? When did Al Davis ever care about what the rest of the league had to say about what we were doing? This man, the best GM in NFL history, has 25 guys in the Hall of Fame. So we don't want to hear about people second guessing us about who we want. It is who we want. And that's who we got.
Exactly. And I feel so sorry for the kid because he's going to be so good. And I think he said something. He actually said, you wait. It's something like on Twitter, he put some great stuff. You wait. I'm going to put all the critics to hush. He played for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
The lineman for Mac Jones. He made Mac Jones look great. Carter's a way better quarterback than Mac Jones. I hate to tell you, folks.
Yeah.
And they were talking. You see, one of my things, and I wanted to get a chance to give a woman's perspective on the draft. And I need to put this out there for you guys. I know how invested you guys are in, oh, this guy should be picked first round. This guy should be picked second round. Let me tell two incontrovertible truths about the draft. Number one, all draft picks are gambles, period. Number two, you will never know when and where a guy shoulda, coulda, woulda been picked until you see him play the game. You don't know whether he's on the right team, with the right coaching, in the right scheme. You don't know about injuries. You don't know about his maturity, his fit with the team. You won't know until he plays. So to pronounce that someone was supposed to have been picked in the second round instead of the first round, based on what evidence? You have no evidence. You gotta see him play. So there's where I kind of, this cottage industry that has grown up around the draft. Oh, grade this draft. Oh, you reached for this pick. I start laughing at him. I can't help it, Cap Jack. I just bust out and laugh. How do you know?
Right.
Have you seen him play against pros?
Right. The only thing I was reaching for was another thing to drink. Not alcohol, by the way, because I had to drink my tea or some more food. That's what I was reaching for. But you got to remember that Leatherwood is the Outland Award winner that played for Alabama. And it was the best run blocking lineman that fits our scheme and blocked for people like, Jacobs and has a rapport with, Ruggs. Yeah. And, we are drafting these high quality, high character, really good guys. Now, and I'm going to say, somebody already threw it in my face. Oh, but the last time we drafted an Outland Award winner, how did that work out for us? I said, yeah. T-Rex, I get it. T-Rex Robert Gallery didn't work out. He had small arms, and he was relegated to being a guard. He had the greatest set of sleeves on his arms, that I've seen in the pros for a while. Relegated to guard, then relegated to the Seahawks, and I don't know what he's doing now. I hope he's well. He got some money, but he didn't pan out, and that's why you said, Peggy, it's a effing crapshoot, and that's it. You got to understand that.
The guy that guesses the best based on looking at stats, looking at film, and then his just pure instinct, that's the guy that probably is going to choose more guys that are not going to be bust. But let's face it, all this talk about, somebody is good or they should have picked this position. It's ridiculous. It's stupid talk. And if people knew how stupid they sounded when they said that, they just wouldn't be talking. Captain Jack, I also wanted to follow on to what you were saying. The difference between when we had Gallery and all these guys that we have drafted in the past is coaching. It's coaching. Tom Cable did an outstanding job last year patching together an offensive line that was riddled with injuries. Quiet as it was kept, Hudson and Jackson suffered chronic injury. They were never at 100% last year, and it showed in the running game, especially towards the end of the season. I think Cable will do whatever he needs to do.
Yeah.
Get this guy in.
I got something for you, Peggy, as well as Oren, and this is obviously to my boy Jason Dean Hunter, who is a Notre Dame honk, and I get it. He was banging the drum for Jeremiah Wilson-Koromoa, and I.
Oh no!
Wait.
I wanted to follow up with that.
Let me finish this as well. It was put out today that apparently Koromoa has a heart issue.
Oh really?
And that's the other thing. Do you remember when?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we drafted DJ Hayden in the first round after we went back. And we flip-flopped picks with Miami and got DJ Hayden, and everybody went apoplectic. We picked up Maurice Hurst in the 5th round because of his heart issues. He was a good player who's not here, by the way, because he got crap canned over to the other side of the bay, okay? And here's something else, okay? And I know you guys remember the name Leon Bender. Who was a 2nd-round pick, I believe, out of the University of Washington at least a decade ago.
Yes.
And he had issues. The kid died before he even hit training camp. And a lot, like I said, I remember him. I know Peggy does. I know Oren does. For you other folks that don't remember him, we lost the guy before he even played it down for the team because of a heart issue, okay? DJ Hayden didn't pan out. Maurice Hurst didn't pan out because he's gone. He gone bye-bye. And Leon Bender, may he rest in peace, because he had a heart issue. Could you imagine if we would have picked Koromoa and everybody would have judged, well, there the Raiders go again, picking some guy with a
the walking wounded is what I call them. I mean, we had a pick in the McKenzie years for picking hurt players that had to have surgery before they played their first NFL down. I mean, I mean, remember Obi Melifonwu? Remember the 2nd round? Conley?
Yeah. Didn't Obi's either his brother or his cousin was drafted?
His brother was drafted this year.
Yeah.
That's right. Obi did. I mean, I think he may play 1 or 2 games, had 2 surgeries his first year. I mean, you know, we seem to kind of run into that problem a lot. And I think Mark's also doing a good job looking out for the injury history of these guys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, just like Jason, I kind of wanted him. The more I find out about him, I'm glad he's not with us.
All you had to tell me was 207 pounds. That was it. I'm a 207 pounds linebacker. That was it. I said, oh, he was a walking wounded.
I don't care how he does in the other team. He's long gone in our team. I think we did get a good linebacker. He's going to play linebacker, and that's Devon Diablo. And if you go watch his tape, he might have been a 1st or 2nd rounder if it weren't for all these fancy guys. So he was actually, I know you don't care about the ranks and all, but he was pretty ranked pretty high at one point, and they moved stuff around because of all the pro days and all this and that and the other thing. But I think he's going to play linebacker on the outside, probably switch Sam with Littleton, and you're going to see that, you know, third, maybe in this third quarter, fourth quarter, just throw them in, and he's going to sneak up and get the sacks well needed from a linebacker, and that's really be like. So, out of and the other thing I didn't mention, but we got 2 steals in undrafted free agents, and I don't think people are aware of that, but Darius Stills,
yes,
is a steal.
Yeah.
He's a 3rd rounder, not an
super athletic. I mean, just an athletic guy.
In my mock draft, I actually had him like 82, 83. I don't remember what's going to what team at the time, but he's a steal. We will have him probably starting a couple times.
Oh, I mean, I looked at tape of him yesterday, and the athleticism, crazy upper body build. I mean, arms, pecs, everything athletically in order. Fundamentals are sound. He is always on the side of the field with the ball. That's the kind of player that we need to have. All 11 guys on defense, they gotta know where the ball's going. It's that football IQ. It's that tangible instinct, gang tackling, everybody going to the ball. I mean, I miss that. We haven't seen that in years.
The thing is like we lost. I mean, that's the thing. In games we lost were people that they didn't focus, and now we got people who are going to focus on what's going on in the game, and we should all be excited about that.
Stop making sense, Oren. Stop talking.
Oren. You make so much sense.
About defenders who actually study and fly to the ball and react and do what the coaches tell them. You know, stop that. Stop that! We're the Raiders. We run around like a bunch of kids.
Chinese fire drill
on sugar. Okay.
I'm so glad we didn't draft a wide receiver. We have 9 of them already on the roster. So
Thank you.
We focused on defense. By the way, that center that we drafted in the 7th round is also a steal.
Yeah,
that's right.
He may even start. Don't be surprised if he starts at center.
Over Nick Martin. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, Nick Martin's not even slated to be the starting center. With the first projections was James as starting center, Martin at one of the guards, probably right guard. Okay. And then before the draft, then they had Good playing right tackle, which obviously will change. Now you have where are you going to put Nick Martin? Will Nick Martin go back to being a left? Will Richie make it? You know, there's so many different things that are going on here with all of the offensive linemen that we have. We're going to actually have, and when's the last time you can say this? 2 really good lines. You know, we might have to carry 9, but, you know, and we'll put somebody that's available. We're going to have 2 starting caliber offensive lines. Maybe one's not as good as the other, but we're going to be diverse and we're going to be able to bring these guys along. And I haven't been able to say that in a while because remember, we were lucky that we had Hudson for all of these years. We were lucky that we had, you know, Gabe, and granted he played through some pain and, you know, he wasn't playing as good and people were bitching about. We were lucky to grab Richie Incognito. Don't talk to me about Twitters and Twinkies who we got rid of at right tackle to the Chiefs. Okay.
He didn't do nothing.
We've resolved that.
You got to beware of Belichick Trojan horses. And I mean, it was almost like he was deliberately sent over here for us to waste our time like they did with AB. But I think that the other thing is I talked about Cable earlier, but I also like the fact of the diversity of our O-line, the plug and plays. If you lose a guard, you can move a guy right down the line. He won't miss a beat. You can play your centers as guards, your guards as centers, your tackles. Some of your tackles can play guard. I think that's the kind of diversity and flexibility you've got to have on today's NFL offensive line.
Yeah,
I really do.
You're speaking about versatility, the way you can move one position to the other position, and that's really exciting because at third down, these guys get tired. Boom.
Yeah.
I want to plug them in, hold them, so I can get that extra touchdown. And you're going to have these third down guys that come in and fill in those things right away. And you're not going to even miss a beat because they're going to be there on top. It's going to be really nice to see all that develop.
Yes.
You know, on all fronts. And it's really nice to see. The other guy from undrafted free agent, guy who I actually heard of before, I don't know if everybody else, I call him Mad Max. He's another defensive guy. Richardson, Max Richardson, Boston College guy.
Yes.
Another guy you could look at his tape. He's not a third rounder, but he would have been a fourth or fifth rounder in my book. A lot of people had him in their 7th round drafts. So this guy is another guy that can hold his own ground and probably going to make the team. So you're going to be really excited to see that guy as well. I'm going to call him Mad Max right now. Really nice.
I mean, we already got a Mad Max. We got to call. We
got to find another name for him. That name's taken.
Richie baby. I don't know. Rich.
or maybe Richie to the Max.
Yeah, that's a good
I'll
one.
Go with that.
That's a good one.
I know who your Mad Max is. Crosby.
The other thing that I'm seeing with going back to Mayock, which I kind of touched on earlier, is I'm seeing that nationwide search for talent. We aren't just concentrating on the big schools, the Big Ten, the SEC, Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever you are. We're going out to the Boston colleges, the Oklahoma States, the Wisconsins. Guys you don't hear about much. We got one guy in from Sony at Stony Brook, right? That's TJ Morrison. I mean, that nationwide search for talent is back with the Raiders. I mean, because we lost it after Al left. Al passed away. We lost that nationwide scouting capability that sent us to all corners of the United States and all Division 3. I mean, sent us, our scouts out there to find the best talent at those levels. And I'm glad to see that's back.
I got to do this real quick because it's part of getting the shout outs. I want to welcome Robert Hawk, who is a brand new member to Captain Jack Scallion. That's one.
Hi, Robert.
Thank you for coming aboard, Robert Hawk, brand new member. Thank you. Go ahead, Peggy. I had to get it out there.
No. I think I finished it off, but I wanted to say that one of the things that the Raiders have been missing from their organization, especially kind of the last 10 years of Al really had started declining, was that embedded scouting capability, and especially on defense, where guys would look out for these standout athletes, good fundamentals, and they would scout them, and they would send out people to watch their games all over the country. And we stopped doing that. And as a result, we lost connection with what defense was all about. People forget our 3 Super Bowl wins. We had a top 15 defenses every single time. We didn't just play well, we were feared. And that's what we need to bring back. We need a defensive identity that we lost somehow. I don't know how it happened. And we'll go along with those picks. I mean, heck, you don't know what kind of gems you're going to find. UDFA, right, Captain Jack? You don't know, because look, Deacon Jones, I had to remind somebody today, was on the drafted in the 14th round. I mean,
they don't have rounds like that. But
yeah, that's right. Don't even have that anymore. Tom Brady's 6th round. Who knew? Russ Wilson, 3rd round.
Or on the show, you
swearing. That's another swear word. You don't say that effing name in here, Peggy.
I know it.
I'm going to tie this up. I'm going to go into the details of a little bit of our picks that we haven't brought up. And that's another guy that I really like is Tyler Gillespie, Missouri. You were talking about these other schools that we haven't got into in a long time. I don't even remember picking a guy from Missouri.
Right. Although I would have loved Nick Bolton, but go ahead.
And then Nate Hobbs, Illinois. This guy is a specialist. He's going to be a team. He is a return specialist, folks. And just watch his tape. He got so many interceptions, and he just runs to the ball. He's exactly fits the Raiders defense the way it used to be. A lot of runs. Go ahead.
I'll say one thing I know about Gillespie
Yes.
because he covered Pitts, that number 4 pick in the draft, the best offensive player in the draft. He covered my Kyle Pitts. I say my because it's my Gators. He
Right.
covered Kyle Pitts, and Pitts had 1 catch.
Wow.
1.
That's
Okay.
right.
Out of Mizzou, and he was all over him. I don't. Maybe he got a penalty. I don't recall, but he covered him like a blanket. And I think that he gave up maybe 7 catches all year. That is the type of safety that we want. I know about the SEC, and when I saw Gillespie's name, I'm like, yeah, because that is a quality pick. I'm sorry, I had to say it, Orrin, because
I love your enthusiasm because it makes me because I know the way all these guys were projected, and we got lucky. I don't know how. We were talking about the grades a little bit last, and who cares what they say because these are all A's as far as I'm concerned. No,
Me too.
Because the Raiders. The media loves to pick on the Raiders. We could be in first place. They'll find a way to pick on the Raiders. I don't know what. I don't care. Not my thing. I love the Raiders. I will love them for all my life. We did excellent as far as I'm concerned. I think we had one of the better drafts in probably 5 or 6 years. We always had 1 or 2, 3 picks, but actually every pick in this draft was a very, very wise decision, and I think it's to both coordinators that made a lot of these.
Absolutely,
decisions.
Absolutely.
Not just Mayock and Gruden. This was Cable and Gus. That's who made these decisions because you can tell about the way they fit them.
Do you guys realize that I think it's 61 years? This is a stat that I saw that I was amazed at. This is the very first time in Raiders draft history that the Raiders did not take an offensive specialist in the draft. No quarterback, no running back, no wide receiver, no tight end. It's the very first time that they didn't take an offensive specialist. That is telling. And when they did take offense, they took the big uglies up front. Like you said, the best run blocking tackle that was available. And like I said, Morrissey, who won the award for best walk-on in the country, just like Renfro did a couple of years ago. The kid has heart and determination, and oh, by the way, he plays well. He plays well. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
I mean, he's in as far as when the draft board started, he was the number 4 center, best center in the country. Okay, the first 3 went off in the 2nd and 3rd round.
Exactly. That's why I don't understand why everybody puts so much stock in where a guy is drafted. For goodness sakes, can he play? Does he fit my scheme? I don't care about anything else. And I want to talk about this other UDFA, Dylan Stoner, out of Oklahoma State.
Oh yeah.
Reminds me of Renfro. A lot.
Best
That's
jersey.
Renfro.
This kid makes the team. That's going to be the number 1 selling jersey in Raider Nation, if not the entire country. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
There's going to be a run on Stoner jerseys in Raider Nation for sure.
Oh,
I mean, and the best thing is that Fanatics is going to try to stop it. They're going to no, that's his name. Because remember when they had the Ron Mexico jerseys and they stopped it? When Michael Vick had Ron Mexico and everybody was buying a Ron Mexico jerseys and they say you can't buy it anymore.
Correct.
If Stoner makes the club, and people will be buying the hell out of it, and then it's going to blow everybody up. They say, "Oh, we can't give you that because that."
You'll have to put his first name initial.
Yeah.
To ruin the whole shirt.
When I saw it, I said that's great. And oh, by the way, Black Widow is a personal friend of his, so that's another thing that's a good thing as well. So one of our and again, hate the term, super fans, but one of our super fans actually knows Mr. Stoner, so that's a good thing for us.
Well, I saw him, and the first thing I saw was Renfro. I mean, a guy that runs precision routes, a guy that is disciplined, that stayed with his quarterback, even though his quarterback was in trouble. I liked the film I saw. And I want to also just put a little side comment on Trey Regaz, two running backs we actually picked up as UDFAs. The first thing I saw about both of them is they got hands. They're diverse. These guys, one of them even runs back punt returns. I saw that had the Mayock stamp on it so much, and in my mind, I thought Bobby Beathard. You know, guys that at their core, they're just super talented. Now we need to mold them. Now that we have decent coordinators, we need to mold them into the kind of players that are going to help this team.
Right.
Right.
And we did pick up a tight end too in undrafted free agent. I think it's Matt Bushman, another good undrafted free agent. If you look at what he can do, but you know, to get behind Waller and to get behind who we already have, it's really going to be hard to.
It's going to be tight because you know I think that, and again I'm biased, but I think that we have the best trio of tight ends of any team. You got Waller, you got Moreau, and then you got Carrier.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a dynamic threesome of tight ends. So it's going to be hard for somebody to break that. And I'm glad that we didn't lose Carrier when we brought in Witten last year. And okay, great. Everybody was talking about, oh, we got Jason Witten. You know, yeah, it was nice, but I mean, really?
He's at the end of his career, you know. And we all knew that. I mean, it was mainly help the young guys kind of move and veteran leadership out there. I thought it was to help in the red zone, but it didn't. But I also want to see a lot more out of Moreau. I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg on what Moreau can do.
That's right. Good LSU kid. That's not a head case. That's not a head case. And again, I'm biased because I'm a Gator. But how many times have we had problems with either people we drafted from LSU or other people have drafted that have turned out to be head cases, like people with the initials OBJ. Okay, There you go. That program has its issues. Okay, so the fact is Moreau has never, to my knowledge, has never had an issue at LSU. Is a dynamic tight end that can run, that can block, that can catch. Great player, and I'm glad we picked him up.
And this goes back to the kind of guys that Mayock wants to bring in. You know, people are still all over him for drafting Cleveland. Well, I tell you what, there's a guy that I probably won't be reading about on TMZ, a guy who's just going to keep getting better and better every game. You may not see it all at once, but if you stretch it out over 3 years, he's going to be a darn better player he was his rookie year than he was in his third year. Those are the kind of guys we need on this team that keep getting better and better. And now that you have a real defensive coordinator, well,
we'll get better.
I think so.
Go ahead, because you were saying you were to tie it up.
One of the good things, and you guys are bringing it up, and I really enjoy it. Building a team is how you're going to be working with a team. It's the character. If these guys don't have character issues, they fit the Raider scheme of things. That's all they're looking for. They can coaching. We have the coaches in place to make our players better and better and better. Just like Peggy's saying, and they will improve. I think Arnett, I don't think he had a full season to prove himself.
He didn't have a defensive coordinator. He didn't have a scheme.
Right.
He got nothing.
Wait. Peggy, are you saying that we need a defensive coordinator to make sure that the defense plays well?
That's a head scratcher. I don't know.
Like Jordan Jr., like Chuck Bresnahan.
I mean, come on. I mean, the Ken Norton Jr. flyer, what it was, the USC connection with Del Rio. You know, I'm going to keep my guy. And I'm going to tell you, you know, I'm a Gruden person, but he disappointed me horribly by not understanding that Gunther was never going to give him what he wanted. I judge a defensive coordinator, any coordinator, are your players better players game 16 than they were game 1? I mean, that has got to be. I don't care how many years it is. There isn't any clock here. It's you have to look at your players and say, are they getting better as players? Are they playing better as a unit? Are they getting results? Gunther wasn't doing it no year. The players weren't getting better under him at all. I feel it's unfair for us to judge Arnett and Abrams and Mullen and all those guys because they just didn't have good coaching.
I got a question, and maybe you guys can answer this because I can't recall. So you know where this is going. I can't recall what our record was the last 2 years after 10 games.
I know everybody's talking about that late season slump, but you see, that's only, yeah, but see, people keep forgetting about the opposition. They're not stupid. They figure out by looking at film, guys get paid to find out what you're doing and game plan against it. That's what they do in the NFL. Plus, you have fatigue and injury that also mount up by game 10. I mean, that's what happened to our offensive line. They just got tired and they stopped blocking. All of a sudden, Booker couldn't get 2 yards running when he had gotten 10 yards running early in the season behind that same line. Right. You have to figure in. See, Gruden knows about all this stuff. This is his second time around. I don't expect there to be any learning curve with him. He has to know that defense wins championships. And for him to sit there and let that defense rot for 3 years, well, I'm disappointed. That's all I will say.
Yeah, I mean,
come over to
you know, I'm very happy we got Gus Bradley. And if you look at his defensive schemes from his past teams, he does a very, very good with them. He knows how to. The thing is, what we're missing with the past coordinator, we all mention his name. He does not know how to, like, give the blessing, get them excited, get them want to be on the field.
Really?
Moving, boom, boom, boom. You got to keep attacking. Even when you're behind, you got to go, 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 go. And we didn't see that from Gunther. That was the problem. He didn't motivate his players.
He had no idea how to use the players that he had. How many times have you heard or read about players, free agents we bought in that were totally played out of position? I mean, I don't know how that happens with a real defensive coordinator. If I bring a free safety in, I play him as a free safety. Why did I bring him in?
Like Joyner, maybe?
Or Corey Littleton. I mean, if you bring him in as a cover linebacker, why are you playing him as a middle linebacker? He's not an MLB. He's not a Mike. I mean, come on. These are the kind of things that mistakes that real defensive coordinators do not make. And I'm very happy for the players. I'm happy for the players that at least they'll get a chance to show what they can do.
Yeah, and he brought in some of the coaches, too, that he had with him. And the defense is going to be incredible. I'm so excited about the secondary. You guys have no idea how good the secondary could be this year. None. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why we got 4 DBs. There's a reason why we got 4 DBs in the draft.
I'd be happier about them if they didn't have to cover everybody for 7 seconds. Because we ain't got no pass rush. I keep going to the pass rush because you know a pass rush is a corner and a safety and a cover guy's best friend. He has to be. Pass rushes force mistakes. Where do INTs come from? We don't have any. The Raiders were 30th in INTs last year. year after year after year, this keeps happening, and yet people keep saying corner safety, corner safety. I mean, no, it starts up front.
I got to cut in because I want to make sure that I bring her right into the mix. Okay.
Is she here?
Oh, she's here. She's here. Oh, and she's motivated. I can just tell her right away. We got Kevlar Prom Dress in the house. So again, my wenches know football. Okay, they know football, and I tell you what, Miss Heidi, aka Kevlar Prom Dress, has been in here. Knows more football and forgot more football than most of you gentlemen know on purpose. And I say that because it's true. Kevlar, we've been going. I mean, I need a breather because I'm waiting because again, Peggy and Oren going back and forth, and it's been wonderful. And I don't need to catch you up. We're just talking about the defense, how we have a defense now, how we've made the right mix and match of players, what was done right in the draft, and I gotta do a segue right now because I want to hear from Kevlar Prom Dress what you thought about the draft and the free agents that we picked up. I'm going to throw it right at you because I want some. I want you in here right now.
Go,
well,
Heidi.
I thought it was pretty obvious that Bradley had a lot to do with the picks. Second round on. I'm not surprised they didn't go first round. Their guy was there. I wanted O-line first round anyways. I don't have a problem with Alex Leatherwood. He seems like a great guy. He seems like he's going to do a good job. He's very versatile. He's a high character player. And I don't have a problem with him at all. I just thought Tevin Jenkins was a better fit because he was a right tackle already. He doesn't have to make the conversion. Leatherwood did play right guard his sophomore year, so he has been on the side. I know he has. I haven't seen tape of it, but he supposedly has played right tackle, and he was able to play it well. I'm not sure about him getting off the edge. For some concern about that, but we'll see how he does. And with Cable coaching him up, it could end up being a really great choice. Interestingly enough, whether you think highly of them or not, Walter Football had him mocked to us for several weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing. I was actually looking through their draft after the first round, and I was like, oh, they got that one, of course, Trevor Lawrence. Oh, and they got that one. And they got that one. And they got that one. And just kept going down the line. I was like, they actually did a pretty good job on this mock.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a problem with that pick. I wanted Jenkins, but that's just my personal pick.
I for those that saw me live, that's who I wanted.
Right.
Okay, and it's not that I was anti-Leatherwood. I wasn't anti-Leatherwood, but I had heard all of the scuttlebutt and then seen the videos and said, ooh, that guy has got nasty written all over him, and he's already a right tackle. Plug and play, we got him, okay? So when he wasn't picked, I wasn't pissed off Leatherwood. I know Leatherwood was a really good player with pedigree at Alabama, and I admit this, I was pissed because Jenkins was still on the board and we picked Leatherwood. I wasn't mad at the pick because I said that is one thing that we needed to solidify the right tackle position, and it was either going to be done in the first or the second round, and and I knew it was coming. So I wasn't mad at the pick. I was mad at the player that I wanted, but you know what? The last time I checked, the Raiders don't write any of my paychecks. They don't have me in the film room for 7, 8, 9 hours a day. So there's got to be people that actually do their freaking job, and they did their job because, again, Leatherwood was a fantastic pick. He wasn't my pick, but it's one of those things where you're really mad and you're pissed off, and then you go to sleep, and then you say, okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. And I was fine with it. I was fine with it because, there were people that are picked up. I remember a guy by the name of Mandrich. Picked, number one or number two? At least, I think number one.
Big Daddy.
Who is supposed to be so much of a beast. And he did, he flamed out worse than a poo-poo platter at a Thai restaurant. Okay. Horrible. So I'm okay with the Leatherwood pick. I'm okay with the pedigree. It wasn't my guy, but I said, you know what? We did well. And then for all the people that were pissed off, but you could have had him in the second round. No, somebody would have picked him before us.
No doubt.
Oh my God.
No doubt.
Morig was there and you didn't pick Morig. Well, we got Morig, didn't we? We traded up for him because we wanted to make sure we got the guy we wanted. And there was a bunch of different trades, in the draft. We traded up when we needed to trade up. In fact, I was seeing this, and I had it. We traded up for Morig. We traded around for a couple of the different guys. I'm sorry, I lost my page. You guys have done this so well that I'm going to get rid of some of these. So hopefully we'll, make things quicker on the input for the video. We did well. We did well, people. So for all you people that said, oh, they're the Raiders again, they done screwed up another draft, I said, shut up.
Wait a minute, Captain Jack, I want everybody to close their eyes and tell me that for a minute there, y'all thought Micah Parsons was going to drop to us, drop to number 17, linebacker, because he was still there, right? He was still there at 15. And I'm like,
Dallas got him.
No,
Dallas got him, but I mean, for just a minute. Come on, Heidi. And then tell me in your dreams, you didn't dream that somehow everybody from 1 to 16 screwed up, took other players, and Darisaw and Penny Sewell were right there for us. Tell me you didn't, Heidi. Come on, you didn't have dreams. You had that dream.
I noticed Parsons was tumbling down the board a little bit. And I think the Raiders might have gone with him had he been available.
Absolutely.
But what I really liked was jumping in front of the Cowboys and taking Morik.
Well,
Dash their
backfield
backfield dreams.
To KEVLAR because she brought up some good points. But I'm going to tell you something a lot of people aren't aware of because Leatherwood is very explosive off his feet, and he knows how to stand in his stance correctly. He's a very, very good blocker. I mean, he played it. I didn't do enough research, but I would have put him in front of Jenkins if I knew what his capabilities are, and this is exactly what Cable probably did. So we did not choose the wrong guy whatsoever. A lot of people had Jenkins. You looked in drafts, and a lot of mocks have Jenkins. A lot of mocks had Jock. I get that. No, we got our guy.
Yeah.
I don't care where. Look how far Jenkins dropped.
Yeah.
He wasn't even a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So I think he dropped all the way, probably past Mooring. So you guys, yes, we could have got him in the second round. But we didn't want Dick Jenkins. We wanted Leatherwood.
No, actually, I looked. Jenkins went like in the the mid 30s or so before Morig because we traded up 3 to get Morig to make sure we got Morig. And like I said, we traded up in front of Dallas, who we were pretty sure were going to get Morig. And actually, Mayock said that in that interview I was telling you about. So again, we wanted to make sure that we got the guy we wanted. We traded up in front of Dallas, which we've done in the past, when we got a guy by the name of Cook, and they ended up getting some guy not by the name of Prescott. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and there's some people that I've been reading a lot of blogs and mentioning, oh, why didn't we move back a little bit so we can get Leatherwood? But when you got a pick in your head and you know you got to draft it before these other people, like the Vikings that could have took him 3 picks back of us.
Yeah.
You got to do it. That's it. No questions.
That's correct.
Was on their mind before the draft started. If we don't get Parsons, we're getting Leatherwood. That's basically what they probably had in their head.
Yeah, I think they did. Those were their two guys, and Morrig was their next guy, and I just loved snatching him away from the Cowboys. Cowboys had nothing but defensive back nightmares the entire draft. It was wonderful. Brought me great joy.
I don't want to tease the Cowboys because they got a decent draft themselves.
Yeah.
But we did a fine job in getting Morrig, and as I said before, I'm so excited to see that defense play. The secondary, it's going to be incredible to go to see them play in Vegas, and I can't wait to get the fans back out there. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the rest of the draft? Did you like what you see?
Yeah, the rest of the draft, I really did like what I saw. I know that Coons probably could have been taken a little bit later, but I love Divine Diablo. He is who Tanner Muse was imagined to be.
Exactly.
While we're there, and I apologize because you brought up something that I wanted to talk about. Tanner Muse is going to be playing linebacker this year, guys. Have you not seen him put on weight in all of the pictures? He looks like
about 20 pounds, don't you think?
He looks like Bosworth, but plays like Butkus. Hopefully, anyway. He's big. I mean, the guy was a little more svelte in Clemson. You see that 55 on him. He looks like he's going to knock you in the next week. And that's for putting on weight, maybe a little bit of extra something he's eating as well. I don't care as long as he doesn't pop pots. But he looks like a linebacker, and that's what we're going to use him at. So, yeah, Tanner Muse, linebackers. Everybody's bitching about all of these. We got safety. Well, remember, one of the safeties is going to Diablo, and I love that name too. If you ain't getting a Diablo jersey, or come on, man, those are the jerseys to get. But again, I apologize, Heidi, but I wanted to make sure people know. Like I said, we got a linebacker in Tanner Muse, so we said, well, the Raiders didn't draft a new linebacker, we didn't get any line. We got one. Okay, we got another one drafted. So shut up if you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well. One thing that Diablo has that Muse hasn't had is the mind. He has the mind. He is a lot more with it as far as being able to read plays, being able to adjust on the NFL level. And I think Muse has been having to catch up with that a little bit, along with physically. Physically, he's had to. But it was apparent that Bradley had a lot to do with the rest of that draft, and I was happy. Tyler Gillespie, I don't know why I tripped over his name because everyone else's, I guess. He could be the steal of the draft. I've seen those headlines as well. So I actually was really okay with it. Everyone just lost their heads over Leatherwood the first day, but I was, I had to research him a little bit more. I did, honestly. It's not like he was the name that popped in my head immediately. And I did do the kind of, what? Who? Right when it was announced. But while I was researching him, I was, reading off to Angria, everything about him. And we're both like, okay, we're okay with that. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, you missed.
We're okay with that.
Talking about the fact that he held Pitts of Florida to one catch in the Florida-Missouri game. One catch, because that's who was on him most of the day.
Yeah, and you mentioned one of those draft sites earlier. I'm not going to give their name because this is a publication from Jack. But anyway, that particular one did have Leatherwood as the third best tackle. Not Jenkins, Leatherwood. We got the third best tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like Jenkins' athleticism, and I did a couple of mock drafts, and he went. I knew Raiders were going to go offensive tackle first round. There were just too many good ones to leave them on the board, and we needed one bad to replace Trent Brown. But second round, I don't know, Heidi. What were you think? I kind of knew from second to seventh round we kind of had to go defense. Did you think the same way?
I knew we had to, but with Gruden and his offensive toys, there's no guarantee it goes anywhere. I was thrilled that it did go the way it did. And, we got a center in the seventh round. That's perfectly fine. He was a good pickup. He was a really good pickup.
Third or fourth best center, according to Warren.
Yeah, that center, Morris is incredible. He will start, maybe not this year, but I'm telling you, within the next 2 years, you're going to see him as a starting center for the Raiders. That's how good he is as a seventh rounder.
Oh, I'm
loving
loving it.
I saw some people writing stuff off the tangent of what we're talking about. I don't know if Cap sees it, but no, Arnett's not losing his job, folks.
No.
Okay?
He never even had a chance to get his job.
He is not even close to even do. He is one of the best corners. You haven't even seen him play. And
Thank
we talked
you.
about that earlier.
No, I put it up because any of the good comments I try to throw up there. And by the way, we got WTF is a very knowledgeable Washington fan who's a really good guy that he likes to call in and show. Kurtz, who is a Dallas Cowboys fan. I will be kind, Mr. Kurtz. Kurtz is a Cowboys fan that comes in from other shows. So we got, and Mr. Flores is a Bears fan. So we got fans from other teams that are in here. And I do appreciate everybody coming over. And again, if you are on Instagram, I'm looking at you, Instagram. Come on over to YouTube. You can be in the show instead of watching me do a show. There you go.
I'm so jealous of the Washington Reds. The WFT's defensive line. My God. If I could just kidnap all of them, put Raider jerseys on them, yeah. I would. I mean, Washington is blessed. They could even skate on their quarterback situation for a year because their defense is that good.
Hey, but they don't even got a team to their name, so
But I will say, you guys might not think Arnett's, seat is on fire, but there are a lot of people in the defensive backfield whose seat is getting warm. Jeff Heath is going to be gone tomorrow. So
Abrams too. If he doesn't get smarter.
They said they're releasing him tomorrow.
Abrams is going tomorrow.
No. Heath.
Yeah,
Heath is gone today.
Really?
Heath is gone because of the signing of Hayward.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Casey Hayward is our another cornerback.
And again, so when you have let's talk cornerback. We got Haywood, we got Mullen, we got Razul. What's his name?
Nobles, I think.
Razul Foster. I think it's Razul. Razul. We got Razul, a cornerback that we got from the Panthers, who played a majority of their games at starting corner.
Razul Douglas. That's what you mean.
Douglas. Well, I knew it was a statement. I said Foster Douglas, Foster Brooks.
And by the way, opening day last year in Carolina, we didn't throw his way. I just want to let people know.
Yeah, and so he had that locked out. So there's going to be some good competition between Hayward and Douglas. And I like Mullen, but you know what? Is Mullen going to be relegated to the nickel? We don't know. We're not saying he is, but there's going to be such a competition for the cornerback spot. We all know that there's going to be competition amongst the safeties because of picking up number 42 back, the pick out of West Virginia who we got back, who spent a year hiatus in Cleveland.
Mr. Joseph. Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
So we got competition everywhere. And this is what Gruden has said, that there's going to be competition everywhere. And yes, that includes between number 4 and number 8 at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's going to have competition. The only person that doesn't have competition
is incognito.
leave Richie alone.
Okay, there you go.
Probably not Colton Miller either.
Yeah,
Probably
probably
not.
right. On the left side of the O line, I don't think we're going to change any of that.
No.
I love competition. Competition makes champions grow stronger.
Yep. I just want to see some fierceness in that defense because it flows down to the entire team. That focus and discipline, even on offense that we're talking about, I believe begins with a good defense.
Yeah.
And Peggy, I want to shoot off of you because remember we're talking secondary early in the show. The secondary on defense, you know how you said the O-line is going to have that versatility, that diversity, all that. You're going to switch positions. It's the same thing what they're doing with the linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties.
Right.
All of those because some safeties are going to be able to play linebacker and shoot off the edge to sack because they're faster to get that quarterback.
I just want them to be smarter. That's the one thing that we just been lacking, guys with football IQ. You know?
The other thing is the guy, I'm not going to mention the team, with the red jerseys, who has a fancy tight end. We now can cover him without a shot. No matter what, we'll be able to cover that gentleman.
I'm going to see the Raiders meet that challenge, but I won't be too upset if we don't. I mean, they're just 2 games. That's what I keep saying. I will never say anything nice about that team in the red jersey. Right. There are only 2 games on our schedule. We could be 14-2. Okay? I don't have a problem with that because we can beat them.
I really think we can beat them with our defense.
I think they only have 2 weapons is what I think.
And you guys, I know, are mad at me, and I admit this. I admit this because I know who I was rooting for in the game in January because of where I freaking live. And it wasn't for the hometown team who I despise, the fake Pirates. I was going for that other team.
Hey, anybody
the only reason why was because I live here and I can't stand them.
Oh, Tampa Bay fans. Oh, go ahead.
Any team who's playing TB, I can throw away. I don't care if he was with the Pats or with the Bucks. TB, I will root any team against him.
Oh, y'all are missing out on so much. I can't wait till the Raiders are so good that we beat him soundly in any game.
I was just devastated. I was just devastated when the matchup was announced. I screamed in anguish. I really did.
Did you? Oh.
I didn't even watch it.
I don't think any Raider fan really wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't on. Yeah, it wasn't on our channels. It was on broadcast TV, and it wasn't easy to stream live. And so I was like, I can find something else to do. I know we watched the Golden Girls part of the time.
That's not a bad watch, though.
I gotta ask everybody here, would you guys mind if we got some people to call in and talk with you about their teams or about the Raiders? I want to make sure that they are involved. Guys, we got a 4-screen right now, so I'm going to do it via call.
You actually, because, I got to slip out, and it's wonderful. I didn't tell you that my time was kind of limited tonight, but since we're going to do this every other Tuesday, right? I'll be doing it. But I want Angry and Oren, Heidi and Oren, you guys, you've been just fabulous to be on with. And of course, Captain, I always love visiting you. But I'll just hang back and listen to what you guys have to say to your audience. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be on.
Well, I always enjoy the opportunity to just soak in your knowledge. You are amazing, Peggy. You really are.
We're just students of the game. All four of us. We're just in different classes. Class across the hall, right? That's okay. We all love the Raiders, and that's all. That's what keeps us bonded and together.
Amen to that.
All right.
Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
I'll be signing off, and we'll talk soon, Captain.
You got it.
Okay.
And DC Wench, everybody. Peggy Holmes. Respect.
Thank you.
Peggy.
Bye, Heidi. Bye, Oren. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So yes, and if you want to be in the show tonight, we're gonna put that fourth square on there. Okay. If you want to be there, oh well, you know what? No, you're not. Because I got, and again, I can't say what her name is. She's the only one I can't say what her name is. Because if I say it, she gets very upset at me, and I don't want that to happen. Miss Angria Trask, one of my other wenches. So again, and now Oren would be the guy that would be taking this, and I wanted Oren on, so I would have a 5 square if Peggy was here, but we got Angria Trask in here. If you guys want to call in, it's after we hear from Angria Trask, and I hear little Jack, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, you do. He's here.
Yeah. How you doing, Miss Angria? It's been a while.
I'm doing pretty good. Recovering. You know, we had COVID a couple months ago, so we're just kind of bouncing back from everything, and it's springtime, so we're really happy.
Well, yeah. Well, but isn't it always like springtime to a point in Alaska?
No, no, it's not.
I've set you up here. You know, it's like, well, it's
Yeah.
always, there's always spring in the air. It's like there's various 40-degree below spring in the air, you know, or wherever the heck.
Sure, we can go with that.
Yeah,
That's spring for Barrow.
There you go. So, now again, this is the Captain and Wenches show. You've seen all my wenches now. They're not my wenches. They're their own wenches. But again, these ladies know their football.
We don't mind being your wenches, Captain.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're good with it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
We're good with it.
I just thought. Wait a second. Let me think of that. Yeah. Okay. I can do a lot with that, but not now. Not now. I'm not gonna do it.
Hey, I got no comment.
Yeah.
Me neither.
But the one thing I can always say, like Peggy was saying, we respect our lady Raiderettes, our wenches in Raider Nation. We respect them. Don't mess with our gals. Don't mess with our lady Raiderettes, our wenches at all. And that's one thing I love at Peggy saying that the respect that we have for the gals that are in our midst, we will do that. So here we go. Now you're a little bit late to the party, Angria. People are pounding the drum. I want to talk. Now I would like to have you, and I know that you and Heidi have your own opinions of different things. Are you ready for a band of people to talk about whatever?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Then here it is. If you want to talk, let me put the phone number up. Okay, right there. 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. We're doing phone calls tonight because I'm going to keep everybody up. Okay, the screen is going to be up. Okay, and we're all good. We got one ready. Okay, and I'm waiting. There it is. Okay, I knew it was coming.
Call from RDR Jason Dean Hunter.
We got it. Jason Dean, welcome to the show, brother. How are you doing?
Come on, you know I was calling in when you got the wenches on there.
Damn right. Damn right. Hell yeah. There you go. Jason Dean, how you doing tonight? What's going on?
I think I hope you're having a really nice.
Yeah. And remember, we're doing this every other Tuesday. And, maybe, Oren could come in at like other times, remember, Oren could come in on all of the other shows he can. And I love Oren for being here. We're going to have special guests for our shows. I'm trying to get them squared away and lined up, but the wenches will always be delivering, Captain and the Wench with his wenches. I love that. you need to make sure. Now, remember, the one thing I can say this is because this is not Google Hangouts, is if there's somebody on the line, he's going to stay on the line until he's gone. So you're going to have to wait until Jason Dean Hunter is gone. Jason Dean, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, that's how we were talking about the draft. And yes, I was one of those players, those people that lost their mind when we drafted Alex Leatherwood. Because, like, I didn't have him as our pick either. Like, of course, you mentioned earlier, I wanted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, okay? And because I'm a Notre Dame guy. But after researching about Alex Leatherwood, I like what he brings to our table. He's gonna have a couple growing pains, switching from the left to the right side, foot placement and things like that. I love the Merritt pick. I think Merritt is going to win because I think the teams are still going to try to throw all over us, and he's just going to be out there in center field lighting people up. And Divine Diablo, like I said, what a great name. That jersey's going to be all over the place. If he wears 66, it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to end up probably being taken to our will linebacker. That's the thing I'm talking about. He was basically the linebacker coach. And Bradley did as well. So the center from Pitt, I don't know. I mean, if he was that good, he would have dropped to the 7th round. Because he could have switched to guard. It's kind of hard to go from center to guard. But I hope he makes the team because, he did win that award that we talked about, Captain, the walk-on award for going from a walk-on to a captain, in college football. That's a big thing. You can walk-on, just like Matt McGloin was, the Scranton Scrapper from up in PA where I'm from. And and the undrafted free agents, I think Darius Stills is going to start for it. I really do. He's going to put a lot of pressure on the inside. He's kind of small for a defense. A nose guard, he's kind of small, but he will put on a little bit of weight, but he's still quick. He's got strong hands, and he's got a very hard push with that. He'll get up into an offensive lineman's chest and drive him into the backfield. I'm very excited about Darius Stills. I really, really am about him. Like the other guys, hopefully, Stoner, like you said, like everyone might because the name of the Stoner, big deal. I want him to do it. I want him to be a ball player. I don't give a care what his name is. His name could be, his last name could be Raider. And I don't want to draft him because his name is Raider. I want to draft him because he can play. Or resign him because he can play.
Right.
Yeah. And they have definitely going to compete for the slot corner position. I think it's going to be Casey Hayward. And I still think we might go after Richard Sherman because I'm not sold on David Lynette. He's not one of the best corners. He's not. He's immature. He proved that. I know he hasn't played that much, but he's an immature player. And John Lynch said he watched him at Ohio State. And I'm not sold on Damon Arnett. I think he takes that angles on tackles. And I know the defense is the defense. It's not a scheme. Scheme doesn't make you pass.
Okay, well, I got you, Jason Dean, and I see the looks. I see the looks of our Wenches and Oren. So I don't have to do everything. I'm going back here. Go ahead, folks, and Jason Dean left you guys with plenty to talk about. I lost my pipe. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, point of order.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. The thing is,
did you just shush me?
Couple of points. No, not you.
I think he did, and he ignored a point of order.
He did.
You can't ignore a point of order.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't know who. I'm not.
So my point was that I only heard about 30% of what he said, but I heard the first part. Now, I didn't pay much attention to the draft this year, but I looked. Heidi and I did some research after the draft was done. We have to look back at 2017 when Colton Miller, 2018 when Colton Miller was drafted, and look at the man that he is today. And it almost hurts me to say this, but I think Tom Cable's going to work it out for him. Alex Leatherwood was apparently the best run blocker in the draft. And if you haven't noticed, we have a pretty badass run duo right now. So that was an important pick, and I absolutely support what they did there. I am really excited about, I don't know about the rest of the rounds, because I can't remember anybody's name that we picked up, except for that Diablo guy. Is that his name, Diablo? Okay, that wouldn't be any better unless his name was Destruction. Okay, that was... And Casey Hayward is one of my personal favorite corners in the league. And just a couple years ago, he was probably the top cornerback in the entire league. He can get back to that. And I do believe that he came over to be with his coach, and that you can't ask for anything better than that. They have a rapport. I'm really mad that they let Jeff Heath go, though.
Jeff Aquay came over because he's played for Bradley in Jacksonville. Casey Hayward came over to play for Bradley here. So you can't poo-poo that dynamic that the players want to play for the coach.
Right.
That's a good thing when players want to play for the coach.
I'm glad Casey Hayward came. I'm glad we picked him up because he'll be able to help the young guys in this defense. I mean, it's a cover three. I think Mullen is going to play very well in the cover three. Now, I'm hoping Arnett does. I'm hoping somebody kicks him in the butt and says, listen, man, they drafted these guys. You better get on the ball. Same thing with Abrams. Because you don't draft three safeties to have them all split. You know, they're all going to compete, and I'm happy about that. Like you said, Gillespie, Diablo is going to be turned into a linebacker, which I love. He's going to be an awesome little linebacker. I'm very excited about that. But like I said, Abrams is looking for a highlight every single time. You know, he's going to end up getting himself hurt really bad. Arnett had 2 concussions last year, didn't he? Like, he's kind of getting the same way. Like, these guys leading with their heads. I know they're young, but another concussion, and you got to start thinking, you know, this kid's career might be on the line. He might be like done playing football.
And he played with a broken hand all season. So I think it's too early on Damon Arnett.
I don't know. It's my opinion, like everybody else has an opinion. If I knew what I was talking about, I'd be in Vegas.
And Oren, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm just kind of an aggressive person.
I don't know if I did something. I apologize.
It's okay. I was being a smartass. Please take your turn. I want to hear from you.
I've worked with Angry in the past, so I was like, whoa, he did not just do that. So, go ahead, Oren.
No, anyway, his point on Arnett, I can bring up, but I think we kind of said that earlier in the show about Arnett. And, you know, the reason why I feel that he hasn't really full a preseason, for example, playing 5 games, and you guys are putting him down. He's a first-round draft pick. Don't forget. Okay.
I didn't like him when we
He's
did.
going to surprise you this year if you give him a full season and see what he can do. In Ohio State, he was the starter. He did do well. We have had Ohio State guys that came in and were very successful for the Raiders. So don't just see. Farrell also is going to do much better this year. We have like Peggy was saying earlier. These guys, they didn't have a great coordinator. Look at the offensive coordinator that we had. Hello, wake up.
No, the coordinator has nothing to do with tackling.
It does.
I know we only played 5 games, but he had concussions too.
Yeah, but you got to coach the guy right. If the coach is not, if you're not coaching the guy right, he's not at the right position. How is if he doesn't know how to play his position correctly in the NFL, and he doesn't know how to be on time to block his receiver or to block where he needs to be or to shed his receiver or to get to the ball right? How are you telling me that he wasn't coached right?
And here's a point as well. A coordinator is supposed to coordinate where people go. If you can't put together a proper game plan and a proper setup for your players, how are they supposed to be successful? Our secondary has been a nightmare for several years. And is there a mute button for him?
You know what I mean? She's got the line coach.
Yeah, you can have those coaches, but ultimately the responsibility is on the coordinator to coordinate actual schemes and actual plays.
And we didn't have one. We had somebody in name.
We did not.
That's the truth. The truth is,
We had John Gruden's Metallica buddy. That was about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, egomania.
Okay, Jason, they had a chance to respond. Go ahead with your response to theirs.
No, I hope for that person. I'm just not feeling on them. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I may be a hater, as everybody calls it. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me.
I don't think you're a hater. I just think that in football today, we don't give people enough time. It's a 3 to 5 year draft process because you don't know what's going to change over the next 2 years. Look at how many coordinators we've had in the last 5 years. Can anybody say that Derek Carr has had a fair shake over the last 5 years? No. Period.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that, remember, and that's the greatest segue, and that's what I was talking about, the last draft. It takes at least 3 years to grade out a draft. The draft we can grade out now is the 2018 draft, which was Reggie McKenzie's last draft, okay? Of the players that were drafted, Colton Miller was number 1, and he's been our foundation left tackle. Brandon Parker is on the team. I don't know how. I don't think he's going to stay on this team. And the only other person,
he must be a good cook. There's no way he should be on this team.
Well, I agree because
He's got pictures.
Brandon Parker is a Hollywood extra for swinging doors in westerns. Okay, because they go through him like a swinging door. Whoever's on him, and he can run block. That's great, but you know what? You better be able to do a little bit of both. Brandon Parker is gone, and
he's a human turnstile.
Right. Thank you. And the only person that's still left from that draft is Marcel Aitman, who has gone back and forth from the practice squad to the roster to the practice squad to the roster. Everybody else, P.J. Hall, Maurice Hurst, Arden Key, and a bunch of other no-names that are so forgetful I've forgotten them, they're all gone. So that draft is the last one you can grade.
And can I just have 1 point? I would like to know how many people are still bitching about the fact that we picked Colton Miller. And who's that guy? What's his name that the Chargers picked?
Who, Derwin James?
Silence. Yeah, how many games has he played? Are we still bitching about that? I'm sorry, I'm still bitter, okay?
You said that I wasn't allowed to say his name.
I didn't say his name. Just like to point that out.
I didn't either.
There's only 2 names you can't. It's 50 Who and Primatama. Those are the ones you can't mention.
Primatama.
Okay. We don't say that guy's name. It's Primatama of the Tampa Bay Fake Pirates. Okay. Mm-hmm. And 50 Who plays for the Bears. Those are my rules.
Remember, he can't hold his liquor. Everybody saw it.
But I don't want to say PM either.
What
Jack, we're not saying PM either.
PM?
The guy who throws for
the guy with the red jersey.
No, I actually will say his name because he's not as much. I mean, he's an
he's an are you talking about the human bobblehead?
Yeah, but I usually just call him Kermit or what was the name of from the character from the Connor or the
Darlene.
Darlene.
You can't unseen it. You can't unsee it.
Kermit Darlene. That's what I call him. Kermit Darlene. Okay.
So
Kermit
funny.
Farley, the State
That's
Farm
the
guy.
only one, man.
Hmm.
Anyways, I hope Damon that does play good because we need that guy opposite of Mullen. We definitely do. I don't want to keep going and just grabbing these veterans to play 1 year here, 1 year there. I want you know what I mean? Someone's going to last in the league. That's not going to be injury prone. You know, I know it's hard to say that because anything freak can happen, anything crazy can happen. But look at Patrick Peterson. You know, he was with Arizona for like 10 years, I think, or 11, something like that. And now he went to Minnesota. I would like to have a guy like that. I know he's once in a generation, but I'd like to have a guy that can at least stick with the team for a good portion of his career.
I got you. Jason Dean, it's always a pleasure. And again, it's hard to get a word in edgewise with these ladies. If Peggy was here, that's why I said I'm doing this. I just like that. But
I almost wasn't able to say a word. But thank you for letting me on, ladies. It's a pleasure. I am so happy to get to talk with you guys. I love how you guys, your knowledge is fantastic. Heidi, Andrea, awesome. Oren, awesome. I enjoy it, and let's hope we have a great year this year, man. So I hope to see you guys during the season, and maybe once you guys will meet the demons in one of you guys.
We'll be here.
Hey, Jason, always a pleasure, brother. Thank you for calling in.
Thanks, JD.
All right. That's Jason Dean. So if you guys want to call in now, the line is free. And we got a 5 screen. We got Little Jack in there, so you got extra in there too. Let's see who we got. Okay, up. We got Houston Steve in the house.
Steve.
There we go, Steve. You are in the house with Angria, Kevlar Prom Dress, and Oren. And point of order. If Angria says point of order, everybody shuts up. Okay. How you doing, Steve? What's going on?
I was going to ask you, how come these so-called idiots that are these draft analysis people always say the Raiders are dead last? Every single year they say this. Is it because of cook-based stuff? I mean, the Detroit Lions, when have they ever even gone to the playoffs? Do you remember when they ever did anything? You never hear about all these other teams that have had bad drafts, but the Raiders are always 32nd.
Well, everybody hates us. Exactly. We've been the bad boys since day one, and we're never going to change.
And we love it that way.
Damn right.
You know what? I don't care what
listen to the Raider
They're
draft.
always going to be number one, and if they don't like us, that makes me love our team even more. What say you?
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, we're used to it. Now, granted, it does piss me off. I will admit, when people say that I'm paranoid because I say things that are right and true about how the Raiders always have stupid things go against them, and I have a NFL referee back me up on that, and that's for the shows that I do with Ref Guru and Violator. Make sure you watch this on Wednesdays. There's a plug right there. But he was a referee in the NFL, and he knows how we get screwed on penalties, and it's unheard of. It's not paranoia if they really are out to get you. And that's,
Yes.
They've done studies on it. They have actually done studies on it, and it has been found that we were penalized. Not even specifically ours. Any team wearing a black jersey, black jerseys, black uniforms tend to get flags and penalties more so than the lighter colored ones. There's been a study.
and like I said, if you got a red car, you're going to get more tickets than the car that's not red.
Well, that's exactly right.
It's true.
It is.
Like you were saying, if you have a red car, you're going to get a ticket because it flashes the eyes and it's seen. And when you go, especially if you're speeding, if you're in a red car, you're going to get a ticket. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's why my vehicles are black and silver.
I got black.
Black.
I got a white car, but I named him Derek.
Available, they would have taken him over Leatherwood. Would you agree with that?
What was that, Steve, about who over Leatherwood?
If Micah Parsons was available, I think they would have taken him over Leatherwood. But I think the Tom Cable, they focused it on him because some people are better conditioned, their coordinator coaches than you would say head coach. I would say that was Cable. What say you about that? And if Parsons was available, I think we would have taken him. But I don't think Leatherwood is. I think he's a good pick.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to let everybody else on it. I am glad that Micah Parsons was off the board when the Raiders picked. I said this on my production. I says, I thank thee, Dallas Cowboys, for taking the temptation of Micah Parsons away from the Raiders, because Micah Parsons is boom or bust. There's going to be no middle ground with him. He's either going to be a very good player to excellent player, or he's going to be one of the worst picks ever because of attitude, drive, determination, all the personal qualities. The fact that the Dallas took him away from us, I thank them for that. Folks,
I do believe that Heidi said almost the same thing.
Yeah. I don't like his attitude. I'm glad that we didn't pick him, and I think we really might have. And I am very glad that the temptation was not there. I really am.
Well, if you said that, I didn't. I'm sorry. I said it on my broadcast. I do have it where I didn't hear you, but I did say it on the broadcast. I swear I can go pull up the tape. Go ahead, Oren.
Yeah, I remember you and I discussing him, because I admit I liked Jock until a couple of days ago when I found out he had the heart problem. But now that I think about it, I'm so happy we got Meringue in the second round, because if we went for an O-lineman in the second round and we got one of these linebackers, there'd be no Meringue. And just think about it that way. And if we did go the opposite direction, linebacker, safety, O-lineman, the O-lineman would not be a top-tier lineman. So the Raiders had this all handed and did the right strategy and got the right key components to make the offensive line better and the defensive defensive secondary, which was actually really lacking. And yes, Peggy talked about the pass rush, but that's what we did this offseason before the draft. We got these defensive tackles, we got these defensive ends. So we only need to pick Coots up. And Coots is going to develop into a great player. He might not strike right away because you got Thomas, you got Jefferson, and you got all these other guys that were already there, Farrell and Crosby, and so our draft picks are incredibly talented, and I think, and I would love to see all of them survive in the next 3 years. And I think that's the one thing that this will happen. And even Darius Stills will be added to that list as well.
Another point to Peggy's point, it all starts in the trenches, and it still does. I don't care what people say, it does. And the problem that we've had is that we don't have a secondary that can actually cover people that break away. So our linebackers have to drop into coverage way too much. And if they don't have to drop into coverage because we have safeties and we have cornerbacks that can keep up with the receivers that we play, then, that leads to a lot more sacks, right?
Yes.
I mean, we can't get any fewer. I'm not sure it's possible.
Probably not. I don't think so.
Right. And I think Crosby and Yannick, they're going to be scared to go. Those two guys.
I love that.
Boom. Boom. I mean, I have not seen this in years, guys.
No. I have been a fan of Yannick Ngakoue for several years. And I know he was, in Saxonville, and that was great. And he has been kind of quiet since then. But I think with him and Max Crosby, that is an ugly and a nasty duo. And I'm a lot more optimistic than this year than I have been in a long time. And I say that every year, but it does keep getting better. So it's okay.
As we all said, we got that new coordinator, Gus Bradley.
Yes.
So I think he's going to throw some stuff that we haven't seen. Maybe he did it on his other teams. And that's where I think Divine Diablo does step in. He's going to play a safety but a linebacker way because he can cover the tight ends better because he can go down the middle or on the outside and sack the quarterback. And we're going to see a lot of that.
Waiting for Tanner Muse to do that as well. Just
it ain't gonna, he's going to play linebacker, but I don't know if it's not going to happen as much.
Okay, Steve, did we answer your question, brother?
You did. I just have actually 2 quick comments.
Okay.
Hey, Abram ought to look at what's happening now in our thoughts and prayers with Steve McMichael. All the years Mongo was out there busting heads and doing all the stuff he was doing, and now he's suffering. He's fighting for his life with Lou Gehrig's disease. So maybe Abrams really ought to think about trying to, to really obliterate people with his tackles and everything, because that's a case in point right there. And I think, I love the TCU player. I love all the picks that we have, and I think a lot of these, if not all of them, are going to make the team. What say you?
I tell you what, I mean, there's going to be a big turnover once again. If you were a malcontent or you weren't playing up to snuff, you've either been released in the off season or your job is gone. I really, it's going to be unique trying to figure out a 53 just off of who we got right now. It's going to be very tough to figure out who we keep. And there's going to be a lot of people that are scratching their heads because I tell you what, obviously there's going to be a whole revamped defensive line. The linebackers weren't a lot to speak about anyway, so that might be a little bit easier to pick with Littleton, Kwiatkowski. Does Morrow make it? He's on a 1-year deal. Maybe he doesn't make it. Maybe they step up right away with Tanner Muse and Diablo. Maybe they're already in there. Maybe Morrow is that 5th linebacker. The defensive backs right now, you flip a coin because there's going to be a lot of different guys out there. I think that obviously for the cornerbacks, I'm thinking obviously Hayward and Rasul Douglas and Mullen are the 3 corners that we can pretty much count on. Then you got to figure out who's gonna stay there between Attic Robertson, Isaiah Johnson that still is on the team. The other guy, Hobbs, that we picked up, that's going to be a special teamer as well. Remember, we haven't had a really good punt returner since the guy that had the 99-yarder against the Broncos, and that's all he did. He was a punt returner. But I tell you what, Hobbs is going to be a punt returner and do all that. And I'd like to see that because, again, I shudder every time I see Renfro back there. I love Renfro. He had a touchdown taken back last year, but we got well everywhere. And I tell you what, that's going to be one of our shows that I'm going to do with the Wenches. We're going to do figure out who the 53 is, and obviously, Oren, you're welcome in on that as well. I'm going to shut up. Go ahead, guys.
Can I have to make a comment on one of the comments that was typed in. I don't know how to go back to it, but whoever that was said that he doesn't, or he or she, I don't know, doesn't think that Max Crosby is going to be, he doesn't think he can play the run. I don't know what you were watching last year. There it is. Clea and Yannick will start on the end and Max will be rotated. I'm utterly confused about that.
I think Clee's going to be more inside.
You know that our best defensive end is Crosby.
Max Crosby. So I saw that man.
I hate to tell you, I don't know where you got that comment from.
I don't either.
Call in the show so you can discuss what you mean with us because we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, so I just wanted to interject as well. I saw that man try to run up and sack and then follow all the way around and get to a running back more than once last year. It was several times. And any man that can do that can start in my defensive line any day. And he can play.
I agree. Lawson's got to go. Lawson's got to go.
Oh, yeah. He's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, he was re-signed, but again, he was just re-signed because they hadn't had anybody picked yet. So I think that he's one of those bubble guys that's going to go.
And he's suspended again.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to remember, there's so many players right now. 20 players, 23 players are not that you're on the team right now. They won't even be in the practice squad. They're not even going to be on the team. You're going to have 10, 12 players in the practice squad, and then the other 20 are gone. So, and that's what the 53 that Jack just mentioned that we'll have to talk about at a later date.
Have we heard anything about an expanded COVID roster like we had last year?
I haven't heard as of yet. I'm sure that we are going to hear something soon because everybody wants to know.
Are they getting vaccinated, all the players?
That I haven't heard. I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard of individual players, doing it and then, encouraging people to do it. But I haven't heard anything about NFLPA, NFL, anything like that.
Jack says no.
Okay. Jack's on. Now remember, there are two Jacks on the show, and the more intelligent one is the one that's below me. Jack said.
The baby assassin says no.
Okay. Steve, is that it?
That's it. Great show and good health, everybody. And back up out there when you feel comfortable. And finally, the Raiders are going to be back, baby. Let's go out and get them this year. Surprise them across the world.
All right. Hey, thanks again, Steve. Always a pleasure hearing from you, brother.
See you, Captain. Have a great night. God bless. Bye.
All right. There you go. That's Greater Houston Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Let's see here.
Hey Cap, I'm gonna be with you for one more phone call, and then it's almost been 2 hours since I've been on. So.
Okay, yeah, no, and if you need to duck out, Orrin, that's fine. And I'm here. The other ladies can go at because again, this is a 2-hour show, but I want to ride them hard for at least for 2 hours. Arr. But I'll be here, and we really appreciate you being there, Orrin, for all of the good talk that you had with Peggy and with Heidi, and then with Angria coming in. It's fantastic.
My pleasure. I always like to give you, some of the news, some of what's going on, give you a full perspective of all this stuff. And I love being on here. I'm going to listen to this and then probably sign off. But thank you guys.
Hey, thanks again, Orrin. And it's always a pleasure. Make sure you come. Let me know when you want to come on again. It's always good.
Anytime.
Well, thank you, Orrin. It's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting
You know.
All right. And remember, point of order, Orrin. Point of order. That's your one. You only get one. And so next time, and again, when I was like, oh, that didn't just happen.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
I'll send you some booze. It's okay. You'll sleep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, again, Orrin.
Guys, take care. Have a lovely week, and I'm out.
All right. Thanks again, shipmate. It's been a pleasure. That's Orange Fury. Love him being here. And again, so I got my wenches. And remember, Peggy's here in spirit. Peggy's here in spirit. Again, I got KEVLAR, aka Heidi. I got Angria Trask. And I got Little Jack, so I still got a 4 screen. I just have 3 up. So again, what I wanted to ask you, and I have some other people here as well, and I'm going to put this one on because this is a very good question by Delta Sportsman. I got a question. We carried 8 defensive linemen. I got 12 plus. Who doesn't make it? And again, and I want to make sure that people are reminded of who we picked up in the off season. Okay, Yannick Ngakoue, I think he makes the squad. Okay. Now, other than that, I think Yannick Ngakoue and Max Crosby make the squad. Other than that, this is who we signed. We signed Solomon Thomas, Quentin Jefferson. Re-signed David Irving, re-signed Jonathan Hankins, who's been a pleasure to have for all of his the way that he's played. Matt Dickerson and Darius Phelan, those are kind of guys that if your money's on who's not going to make the team, maybe those 2 guys. Kendall Vickers, who had a really decent year and was signed up at the end, who was a little undersized but played well. Those are the defensive linemen. And remember, we also have Carl Nassib. So that's
going to be my question about Carl Nassib. I think he's a good rotational player. So I would be surprised if we cut him, but I never know. I don't know what Gus Bradley wants to do, and it will all depend on our brand new DC, because he's got a whole bunch of stuff to work with now that he didn't have before, and vice versa. He didn't, he doesn't have stuff that he did have to work before. So it's going to be a tough call. Are we just talking about linemen?
Well, we're just talking about the defensive line for the 12 that are on the roster right now. And remember, by the way, I think that the kid that was the undrafted free agent, he's going to make this squad too. He's a little undersized at 270 pounds, but you know what? We can fatten him up, and he's still going to be country strong, and he's going to be an asset. And I can't remember his name. I had him up earlier. I know you guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Stills, right? Stills, right? Yeah, Stills.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Stills. So again, we are fat, pun intended, on the defensive line, and we haven't had that as a luxury in quite a while. We've always had a make piece defensive line, but we can pick and choose now.
Yeah, and that was kind of the situation last year, but it wasn't. It's like we went up just a tier, because last year we got a lot of players that I seem to recall, and excuse me, I still have new mommy brain, even though my son's a year and a half old. I seem to recall we picked up a lot of secondary players and some front seven guys, and it looked like we had a really large smattering of people to choose from, and perhaps these guys would be decent, but of course they all got Gunther, and that ruins everything. But it seems like we've gone up a tier for what we get to select from this year.
Heidi, your thoughts?
Well, there'll definitely be cuts. We're not going to carry 12. Like you said, Pelon and Dickerson, that's his name, right?
Yeah. Or really, his name is, just like in the movie, his name is, I don't know, Adolfo, not going to be in the job anymore, out of space.
I don't see either one of them making it. David Irving, I know that he had some bright signs last year. He came in at the very end, but he definitely had a couple of little bright spurts, and I think that he would be worth keeping around. I really do. Yeah. Obviously, the obvious ones, Max, Klee, Yannick, they're all going to be there. I like Hankins. I know he's not a fancy name, but he's been there. He's been good for the run. And let's see. We picked up at least one as a undrafted free agent as well. I remember that, a defensive tackle.
Well, Stills, and I think he's going to make the squad too.
Yeah, I think he's got a really good chance, if not that, practice squad.
Or he's going to get a mysterious hangnail that puts him on the injured reserve for a year. Remember how we did that with Marquette King? He had a serious injury, and we keep him on the injured reserve because we don't want to get rid of him. And the Raiders have done that in the past, and I wouldn't put it past them. Sunjoku says that Nassib might be gone. I don't know. I mean, I think Nassib, if he's with the right defense, and I know what he did down here with the fake Pirates. He was a fantastic guy with a motor, and I was so happy that we picked him up, but we gave him to a god-awful garbage defense under Paul Gunther. Let him play for a guy that actually can play, that knows the defense, and I think Carl Nassib, he might be on the bubble, but I want to keep him as well.
Yeah, and I do like him. He restructured. He was a team player. I think he knew that he didn't earn his contract last year. We did pay him quite handsomely. And I think that he recognized that and was willing to say, yeah, I need to earn my keep. So he has restructured. And I don't know. I still think they've tried. I know that they have tried to get rid of him, but they haven't been able to really find anyone to take the bait. Whether he gets cut or not, I don't know. could just be a sheer number thing, but he could bring in some veteran leadership. He does have some years behind him, so that's a good thing. It's just the potential, like you said, is so hard to see because all these people have been languishing under Gunther. Somebody that had no idea, what direction anything was. He wouldn't have been able to find his head if it wasn't attached to his shoulders. I mean,
I have a question, and I want your guys' input. I think this is, I don't know if you guys talked about this, so let me know if you did. I might have missed it. Wide receivers.
Okay.
Who makes it? Who are you excited about this year? Because I'm still excited about Ruggs.
Well, I'm excited about Ruggs, but I'm more excited about Edwards. I'm more excited about Edwards because Edwards is the wide receiver that can do that does everything. He's not as fast as Ruggs, but he is the more complete wide receiver that's going to have the entire offseason to learn with real camps and all those things as well. I got Edwards and Ruggs, and obviously third in Renfro. I like John Brown, and I like Snead. I like those five right there as the wide receivers just off the top of my head. If there's somebody I'm missing, they better be able to outplay those guys. That's why, you have Stoner that might be up there. I think Stoner is a practice squad guy if he shows the ability. But my five wide receivers right now are Edwards, Ruggs, Renfro, John Brown, and Snead, right off the top of my head.
I want his jersey. I want Stoner's jersey.
Yeah, I told you that's going to be the top-selling jersey. It's going to be there. Thanks, Jim Joker. I hope that's directed at me, but if not, I'm going to take credit that he says a great thing.
I agree with you completely. I think we've got a few guys on there that are going to not be worth their salt. And if you can't beat out those five guys who are all either very, very experienced in the NFL or have some skill set that can blow most of the other guys out of the water, you don't stand a chance. Period.
Yeah, I'm about ready to blow away one of these people that is going to be putting them. Yep, I know. Yeah, he said it again. You know what? You're gone. I had that joke last night.
I missed it. I didn't see it.
No, again, thank you for trying to play there, Brooks Santiago, but you're gone. Bye-bye. I'm not dumb. Okay? Hey, did you hear about the rookie Nick? And then there's the last name that goes with it that I'm not going to say. There you go. But yeah, I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Again, when you have a Stoner jersey and a Diablo jersey, those are going to be hot-selling items amongst Raider Nation.
Oh, yeah. I still want my Coach jersey from last year.
If Diablo makes it, I'll buy his jersey. I mean overall, if he becomes a player that's noteworthy, yeah, I'll buy his jersey.
Yeah,
he can go in there right next to Tatum and Howie Long.
Yeah, and this is. I wanted to ask you, ladies, why I had you here as well. If you want to be on, if you want to call in, there you go. And I'm not going to have you ladies on too much longer unless you want to be here because I'm here. But it's up to you.
I think our support cast is starting to get a little bit anxious.
Yeah, and I don't want to take her away from Jack too much.
Oh, he's okay. He's just having some baby problems right now, but it should pass in just a few minutes.
Okay,
my biggest problem is my puppy who doesn't want to do anything but chew everything. So, yeah, she's a nearly 50-pound, 7-month-old bully, and she's an asshole. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's probably a good 45 to 47 pounds now.
There you go. And it's a bulldog?
She's a pit bull mix. She's a Staffordshire, and she's got some other ones in her. But she's gorgeous. Reese, do you want to say hi?
Oh yeah, that's see. You can't get the wenches and babies and puppies.
Yeah, I'm a tired woman all the time.
I saw my dog's tail pass by the screen earlier, and I know a couple of my cat's backs have come through the screen as well.
Okay. Robert says that there's bad feedback. I'm hoping it's not. You guys,
Hurry, stop it.
But again, now one other thing I wanted to get with you ladies, I asked this the other night. With I had two Giants fans on, and I had Corey the Raider, and I said, which teams in our division do you think improved the most between the off season and the draft? Who improved the most in the AFC West? Because obviously we got those games that we got to worry about the most. Who improved the most?
Probably the Broncos.
The Broncos had a lot of moves. I think they got weaker and stronger, though. I think
Although
we can
they
say
did
the
have
same
a big
thing.
blow today.
Who'd they lose
had a
today?
Jawan James.
Oh, I did not read that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
His
Like I said,
injury
they've gotten
offsite
better
out,
and they've gotten worse. So
injury offsite out for the year.
Oh wow.
Okay, now here's the question: Who is going to be the Broncos' starting quarterback? And it's a trick
Teddy.
question. Well, it's a trick question because everybody's still talking about some guy from the north, the middle states being a possibility.
Who's that? Aaron Rodgers? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I keep seeing Raiders rumors on him too, and I can't believe anything until I see it anymore. After Tom Brady won the Super Bowl with the fake Pirates, I refuse to believe anything. Oh, sorry.
Point of order.
I'm
Point of
sorry.
order. Stop swearing. It's Prima Tama of the fake Pirates.
It's Prima Tama. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Of the Tampa fake Pirates, right?
I'm sorry I'm screaming, Jack. I'm sorry I'm screaming. I
He's
apologize.
okay. He's yelling back.
Okay. There you go. So yeah, Prima Tama, 50 who? Those are things. Okay. Yep, things I remember. Okay. Go ahead, Heidi.
Oh no, I was just shushing for the fun of it to be a jerk. I'm able to do that quite well. I'm quiet, but I
She
can
has
be
a
a little
mean
bit.
height.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not touching that with a big old hole.
I'm quiet and sweet. Fight.
There you go. Well, I don't bite hard. It's like,
Famous last words.
I'm going to get in trouble. Okay, and I want to say to all of the contributors here again, Delta Sportsman, thank you for your solid commenting and all that we have. And I got to ask this as well because this is one thing that I wanted to do for my shows is the contributor of the show, because we're going to have the person that contributes, or the MVP, the most valuable crewmate, shall we say, the MVC, is going to be put up for all of these shows. And obviously, there's only 2 shows that we do as of right now, and then of course my Thursday show and my Sunday show. And at the end of the month, I'm going to do something, and we're going to either figure it out amongst the fans, or we might do it on the spinning wheel like we've done before for all of those other things. If you guys would have put a contributor via, now it could be with comments because we only had Jason Dean and Raider Steve. So who do you think is the contributor of the show via comments? And I'll leave it up to you ladies as well.
I've been seeing a lot of comments from Delta Sportsmen, so that's probably my choice.
Okay.
Granted, I've only been here a limited time, so I don't know.
I know. We might have a runoff. Heidi or Kevlar.
I actually do like that comment.
Yeah. Okay. And
I do.
I want to say thank you there, Raider Neil, for the $4.99. Appreciate that. I will put that in here. And again, thank you, Robert Hawk.
I'll give Ed Winchell an honorable mention.
Okay, you missed it by that much, Ed. You missed it by just think of Don Adams in an old Get Smart episode. Missed it by that much. So again, you almost do it.
How many people actually get that reference, Captain?
Not too many. I was actually
the cone of silence.
Yeah. I do it all. My boss at work, I said, okay, if you saw the original Star Trek episode of Fit Down the Edge of Forever, and he's like, no. So all these, you know, like, hey, J. Lady Rush Chairman, Dan glad to meet you. And I said, no, okay, if you don't know, it's just a bad thing. Raider Neil, thank you for the donation, and Raider Neil gets one entry into the Captain Jack treasure chest of prizes. Ladies, it's wonderful, and I'm so happy that I have the pleasure of having a show with gals who know what the hell they're talking about. Trust me on that. Trust me.
We love you, Captain.
It's a pleasure having Kevlar Prom Dress. I gotta. It's like, was it KPD? Okay, or Heidi. KPD and Heidi. I got Angria Trask, and I'm not allowed to say what her name is because I've been told in no uncertain terms it's Angria Trask, and that's it. You got Kevlar Prom Dress, KPD, otherwise known as Heidi Stabbert, and DC Wench, who's Peggy Holmes, a great person and a very knowledgeable. And I am lucky that I have these ladies that know about football. Delta Sportsman is our most valuable crewman of the night. I will put him in with the prizes available. So again, you can either comment, you can call, you can be in the video on the show when we have that for you. So again, we will figure out as soon as I know what the prize is, and I've already talked to somebody about it, but it's not official yet. I've been so busy, I haven't been able to follow through. But at least I'm getting the people identified, so I don't lose that. Okay. And again, ladies, what time is it over there in Alaska?
7:17.
Well, it's 11:17 here, and this guy has got to download this and go to bed, and then I still got to work tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, I have to make deviled eggs for a a potluck tomorrow, so I'm going to do that. So
I'll be there for that.
Oh yeah, and my deviled eggs, and because it's Cinco de Mayo, they are Diablo eggs. So in honor of our new linebacker as well. Ladies,
that's awesome.
Thanks again for coming in. Say hi to little Jack.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, little Jack. And hi, little Asher. And of course, Angria, thank you for being here as well. Remember, folks, the premiere Captain and Wenches Show every other week until you hear otherwise, and you're going to be entertained, that's for sure. For Heidi, for Angria, for me, Captain Jack, for Peggy, who was here earlier, and for Orange Sherry, we salute you. Thank you for being here. We will see you on the very next show. I got to get rid of all of these different things so I can get us out of here. Y'all take care. Good night, everybody. We'll see you on the next
night.
Whoop, I cut her off. I apologize. Let her know, Heidi, I apologize. Good night.
You're listening to the Captain Jack Sports Show on Northeast Streaming Sports.